Jean Bart. And yay, there's another double. And when you shoot out of Colombo, so many shells hit the target with with improved penetration angles. The damage accumulates hugely. It's just the effect of Colombo. What they did is that they reduced the sigma. Is it 1.5 or 1.6 or 1.7? 1.6, I think. They reduced the sigma because if this has Iowa sigma, it will produce double of damage than Iowa. So for balancing purposes, they want you to just feel it's good. It's very good because it's legendary battleship, yet not too much good. So they put the sigma down to 1.6 by testing 1.7 is still too much, or whatever sigma it is. And one of the things about Italians have little worse dispersion. They are kind of wide. So what they did is, by giving you this commander, they are neutralizing this little disadvantage of Italians. So now you have dispersion value with this base trait same as US. Which means that when you shoot out of this Colombo, more shells will hit the ship. Already better performing shell of Colombo gets even more. From closer ranges now, you can death strike things with Colombo. It happens rarely, but it can happen. With this commander's 5% additionally makes difference to the dispersion. And of course I put this on because it's pretty fun. It says that you look on a health pool of the red ship and you do calculations. So if they are at the beginning of the battle, everything is 100%. So here it is that for 1% you will look on the damage and you put 0.15% per 1%. 100% would be 0.15 times 100, which is 15%. Does any ship have 100% of HP? Everything at the beginning. So in the beginning of the match, anything you shoot at, you have 15% more damage. Yeah, of course, the late of the game, it's at the beginning where you shoot everything from the distance, and when half of the people push to be shot at by you, and half stay in the back and are cautious, I think this is fun. Like having this on the mind will motivate me to look for the targets at the beginning, which is basically what this game is about. This is the psychology of the game. That's how it's meant to be played. You are cautious at the beginning, but also you are not pushing hard. So it supports the consciousness of this game right now, this perk skill. There's nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, and nothing here. Alright, can we do Star Trek? Imagine Rochester, so you need better gun traverse. They change it anyway. You know how people say Einstein is the best because it has gun traverse speed? Here's the gun traverse speed. Range. See, they know it's important. They put in the third row. This thing is great. Shell grouping against enemies with more than 50 HP means that when there is a ship later in a game that is being very cautious, you will citadel it more. This is basically how you play this ship. Captain Genuine came with you as Voyager. You are maintaining your health as high as you can during the game. You're staying in the back. Funny, right? And a cruiser AP damage against enemies. When later in the game enemies are under the half of the HP pool, you help it go down a little bit more with already AP focused performing ship. So it's pretty useful. The main perk is fun. Shell grouping when shooting at destroyers 4% is half sigma. Destroyer is tiny piece of metal above the waterline. You want the vertical dispersion in the sense, which is shell grouping, to you don't want these shells that when you shoot on destroyers to go above the destroyer, or you want to hit as much as you can. This is what shell grouping is good for on a cruiser. It's for destroyers. This thing gives you half sigma, just like that, and damage. What damage? This ship, if you put it on HE ship like Rochester or Baltimore, it hits more the destroyers. It just does. Destroyers are getting more smacked with this base trait. This ship is having super penetration values of the AP shell, so the destroyers are just like broadside to and smiling. You can see the smile from their comm tower. Yeah. Awesome commander. Awesome commander. If you compare it to Norman Scott, the only thing he doesn't have, HE, right? If you don't care, it doesn't have the dispersion and shell grouping on the battleships. The USS Voyager is having already improved. No, it doesn't. Shell grouping. Yes, it has, because that's what AP all only ships have. They have improved shell grouping and dispersion. So, another commander is Riker. Riker was for free. It's basically Sims, where you replace the range 4% with 2 repair parties, which makes it the best commander for US battleships. Why best? Because you have heals, which are generally the best option in a standard game. Keep you longer in a game. Gives you option to stay longer in a game. Plus it has both accuracy and dispersion, which means that your battleship will perform well in every scenario. The Takanashi will just remove the bow tanking scenario from you a little bit and focuses more on the reload. And I would still say Takanashi is better if you spec into this, and Riker would be better if you put this on Takanashi. The next commander is this one, which is just fun to listen to, because she's representing basically the spiritual struggles that are currently present on this planet, which is, do we want to be cyborgs? Cold, calculated, soulless collective, which is communists. She's basically a communist because she's extremely collective, right? Collective says, communist does. Accuracy for Yamato, same like the main character, the main Takeo, Oreo, with the difference that, yeah, I'm not using this. Yamato is really not. this stationary ship, you can't really... Of course, this gives you more AP damage. So in Yamato, you are focusing on one ship. You are having a lot of duels. So if you are dueling in Yamato, which you mostly are, 8% more damage on a ship that overmatches everything is just boosting the feeling of Yamato. We all play Yamato Musashi for overmatch qualities of AP. You shoot AP all the time. Shell grouping is for citadeling. And the main perk... Okay, so you have a 10, and here you have a 2. Of course, they could make 12 here and choose another perk, but they didn't want to put more variety because, you know, there will be more commanders in the future coming. There will be alternative battleships line, so they just like split it. Instead of making 12, they put 10 here and 2 here because they have to make some base trade. And battleship AP reload time -4 is just to put something there, because if you look on a Yamato, I think I can open it from the ships tab. It's 26 seconds. 27, so I get 26 because it's AP reload. 27 seconds. You see how much percentage does it add? It gives me not even full 1 second. I mean, 1 second is no difference. They can just throw these things at us. We can create it for each other. Nothing. Borg Queen. It's better than the original one. It's fun to listen to. Combined with the camo. Good experience of Star Trek. Gauron. So this is option. You put the Azure Line Cheshire on the Bortas for improved angles, but the point is that that works only when people shoots under the superstructure, and people learned on the Bortas to shoot on the superstructure, and they shoot HE. So ricochet thing built on this thing is useless, and Bortas is pretty agile. So having 10% better guaranteed ricochet on Bortas, I don't personally find as any kind of experience. So here, this is made for it's tailored for Bortas. It has less damage, and you are close. Bortas is always charging at you, coming for you. Reduction of the damage, awesome. Bortas has some little longer secondaries for that. It's just designed to match the Bortas. And then this perk is also more damage. So less than 7 kilometers is majority of 50%, not majority, 50% of engagement. When you go with Bortas, you don't stay at 12 kilometers. You approach, and closer you are better, because then you can use the torpedoes, and they cannot hit the superstructures the closer you are, which means they will be hitting the increasing size of the bow. So you are approaching to other people, and you get 10% more damage. Such awesome thing. And this thing helps a lot too, because many times you get just... I happen to be getting healed by other people. Yeah. And also it's nice to play Bortas and hear this guy speaking.
Your deeds will not be forgotten.
Yeah. Star Trek experience. I like it. Well done. This is Miller. Do we have any more Star Trek? Oh, Spock. Obviously, it's Accuracy Commander, where you can have 2 extra heals if you take away this dispersion. And the thing about French, they are meant to shoot bow tanking things. Their HE is just big damage dealer. And you'll be shooting HE damage a lot. Now Republic also is having huge guns. And here I put this on because it's a special perk, and knowing